ஹலோ காய்ஸ் வால் ஒரே சம்பவமாக போயிட்டுருக்கு தக் லைஃப் படத்தால். தக் லைஃப் படம் வேறு மாதிரி கதை கொடுக்கல, அது தனி கதை அப்புறம் வரும். ஆனால் மன்னிப்பு கேட்க மாட்டேன்னு சொன்னதுக்கு கமல்ஹாசன் பண்ணது அதோட ரியாக்ஷன்ஸு, அதில் நேஷ்னல் மீடியாவில் எப்படி பேசப்படுது, அது எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம பார்த்து ரியாக்ட் பண்ணலாம். வாங்க, வித்தவுட் எனி டியூ ஸ்ட்ரெயிட் கெட் டு த ஷோ. சேனலில் மாற்றோம். ஹாய் சோம்.
The situation on Kamal Hassan on the Kannada language row which has taken place, the Karnataka High Court has been very, very stern with what exactly he's had to say. Let's introduce my panelists at this stage. Dr. Sumant Raman with us, Bhaskar Rao, Deepak Thimaya, Harish Mohammad Ibrahim and Kapil Sankla. I'd like to thank you all very much for being with us. Mr. Sankla, let me go across to you first. Mr. Sankla, can you hear me?
You loud and clear. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sankla, just in terms of going through what the Supreme Court has actually said, and let me just sort of read out a couple of quotes. The Supreme Court has been fairly direct with what exactly it feels. It says that as far as hurting public sentiments are concerned, you may be Kamal Hassan or anybody, you cannot hurt the sentiments of the masses. So how is the Supreme Court, or rather, how is the Karnataka High Court balanced Kamal Hassan's right to express himself with the right to be responsible?
Well, that's a hard-hitting question at the very start. So there are three points to it which are very important. One is an old saying that your right ends where my nose begins. So though you may have fundamental right of speech under Code 19(1)(a), but those are subject to reasonable restrictions, which include not saying anything against the sovereignty, integrity of India, against public order, decency, morality, etc., etc. So if you make a statement that goes beyond the touchstone of what is right or what is wrong as far as your fundamental rights is concerned, you can be hauled out. That is one. Secondly, the Honorable Supreme Court in various judgments has said something to the effect that freedom of speech is the bulwark of democracy, but is not a license to wound. And this has been said in multifarious cases that we are seeing right now of politicians and BJP politicians saying something that they shouldn't and are being taken to task. The second part of it also is that you also have certain fundamental duties, though those are, more on the morality aspect, but that is something that weighs heavy on anybody who's a celebrity, anybody who's important, VIP, politician, influencer, anybody who can change people's hearts and minds. So that responsibility is there. And it is under Article 51A, which is your fundamental duty to not to say something that goes against the ideas of the institution, the national, integrity, etc. And the third part of it, which is equally important, if not more, is this: that today a lot of politicians, a lot of actors are trying to revise your history, and it is being done for their own personal ego, narrative. In fact, also to create confusion and strife, and that is called weaponizing narrative. And it is very important that we stop it at this stage, because we don't know what history would be, what a poor boy who's watching Kamal Hassan's movie is going to think. Because factually, historically, Kamal Hassan is wrong when he says that Kannada has been born out of Tamil. Because the fact is that both of these languages are sister languages, including Telugu, Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, etc. So therefore, when he's factually wrong, he's historically incorrect, which basically means what he's trying to do is create strife to either make his movie a hit or to make his political, career a hit.
All right. Okay. Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, what Kamal Hassan has said, as I understand it, is if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. If I'm not, I won't. This is my lifestyle. Please don't tamper with it. India is a democratic country, and I believe in law and justice. So he's adamant that he's not going to apologize. Is that something which the party that you support, the DMK, endorses?
No, more than what we support or not is secondary. And as a freedom of speech to every citizen is guaranteed, he has made a statement which is out of pure love towards Mr. Rajkumar, who have attended the function. And number two, if you have any point of discussion, if you have any point of retaliation, it has to be done in a democratic way rather than going ahead and making sure to adjourn his film or making all the kind of ramifications to go ahead and ban his film is not what the Article 17, which guaranteed to each and every citizen of this country to perform his business. And number three, if we want to go ahead with his statement, only it is a slip of the tongue, which is what I prefer, because it is all, as the previous panelist said, all the Dravidian languages came from a Proto-Dravidian family, which includes Tulu, Kannada, Malayalam, Telugu, and Tamil. Instead of saying that, he had a slip of tongue stating that it has been derived from Tamil. That is what the only thing, because even if we have to go by that matter, Tamil is the oldest classical language, which the carbon dating in Keeladi is dating towards.
The Karnataka High Court, in fact, referred to the entire issue of slip of the tongue, and on the irreversibility of his statement, which the court seemed to suggest he needed to amend. The court said, and I quote, I've got it over here, due to slip of tongue, anything can happen. Spoken words cannot be taken back, but it can be apologized. You cannot unscramble a scrambled egg. So it's all very well to have a slip of tongue, but then you can apologize. Right? That was the suggestion of the court. That's something he's not done. Are you okay with that?
But Vishnu, his stand is very much clear. He has said that fact to make sure the brotherly love or the sisterly love towards the Kannada people, whom Mr. Sivaraj Kumar was part of that family. But it has been taken out of context and made sure to create a mole out of complete, out of proportion, to create an issue through the fringe elements in Kannada. Even the same kind of issues happened during his release of Vishwarupa film. But he took the legal battle to make sure the film released when Madam Jayalalitha
But respectfully,
was
Mr. Ibrahim, he's lost, in a sense, his legal battle, at least at the level of the Karnataka High Court.
No, even it is not the judiciary part to go ahead and touch someone's ego has to be tested through any means. They have to submit the facts. They have to go through the facts. What states?
So you disagree with that? You disagree with what the court said? That's fine. That's your right. Let me go across to Bhaskar Rao, spokesperson of the BJP in Karnataka. On the entire issue of Kamal Hassan's expertise, again, the court had some important things to say. They asked him, are you a historian or are you a linguist? On what basis do you speak? Isn't that at the center of it all, that if you make remarks, you have to be accountable for what you say and you have to back up what you say with fact? It seems to suggest that he's not done that.
Kannada is a very, very old language, dating back to 530 BC in the Halbedi script. Either historically or linguistically, nowhere it has come out that it has emerged out of Tamil. Every language needs to be respected. Kamal Hassan may love his own mother tongue and his language, we have no issues. But running it down and saying that we have parented your language, etc., is being very arrogant and being ill-informed and also being very, very non-mindful and hurting the sentiment of a lot of people. And all that we ask in return for the kind of insult that he heaped on us is that, please apologize, we still love you. But when he says, I will not do that, and then he approaches the High Court of Karnataka to say that he needs protection, means what kind of a ultimate arrogance is this? See, in Karnataka, we have a saying that we are all bound by our Nela, Jala and Bhashe, that is our land, water and language over there. And it is the same. And all states have been divided on linguistic lines over there. And being in a responsible position, one should be mindful of what they utter. He's not some XYZ. He's an important person. And he's also admired in Karnataka. But by making such kind of statements, he has played a very cruel joke on the people of Karnataka and their sentiments. It should not have been done. All that we asked was an apology. And then you continue to say that, no, I am still right. I'm not a historian. I'm not a linguist, but I'm going to talk like this. Please love your language, but don't try to denigrate others. Okay. These are things which they should try to bind the whole country, not divide the country. He has created an unnecessary, unwanted controversy. Now approaches the High Court of Karnataka asking for police protection. Is it not foolishness and stupidity? Does it not anger us after having been insulted? So you apologize. People have still respect for you over there.
All right, I get that. Deepak Temaya of the Congress Party. There are certain consequences of a statement as well. This was the Supreme Court. A public figure makes a public statement on a public forum, right? That a language is born out of another language. Where is the material to support it, right? And what has happened because of that statement is unrest and disharmony. What did the people of Karnataka ask for? An apology. That is the observation of the court. Again, it's the entire issue of responsibility. Do you believe that that Kamal Hassan, Mr. Temaya, was being irresponsible?
More than being irresponsible, I feel that I think that at a certain age, people should become more wise. I think in case of Mr. Kamal Hassan, that it's been the other way around. I'm very sorry to say this because I've also personally liked Mr. Kamal Hassan. If anybody else had said this, I think you could have ignored it or perhaps, laughed at it. But when somebody like Mr. Kamal Hassan says it, it becomes a very serious matter because we've also loved him for a long time and we thought that he respected Karnataka and Kannada. See, this has been there with Tamilians.
He still does. For
a very long time, starting from the classical language issue also, where they fought that in a court of law, saying that just because they got the classical language status, that Karnataka shouldn't be given because Karnataka did not, Kannada should not be given because Kannada was not eligible to be called a classical language. But ultimately it was fought and today Kannada also has been given the status of a classical language. But here the most important thing is that it could have been a slip of the tongue.
இப்போ சொல்கிறாருல்ல, ஆக்சுவலாக நம்ம அதை பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அதாவது மெட்ராஸ் ஹைகோர்ட்டில் நம்ம லீகலி பெட்டிஷன் ஃபைல் பண்ணி இந்த மாதிரி அது மறுவன லாங்குவேஜ்னு நம்ம நம்பப்படுதில்ல தமிழில். அதனால் அப்படி தன்னிச்சையாக சுயமாக உருவாகிற லாங்குவேஜஸ்க்கு தான் அது இருக்கணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு கிளாசிக்கல் லாங்குவேஜ் ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கான்ட்ரவர்சியே மிகப்பெரிய கான்ட்ரவர்சி இருக்குது பார்த்தீங்களா. மெட்ராஸ் ஹைகோர்ட் பேட்ஸ் ஃபார் கிளாசிக்கல் லாங்குவேஜஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இதுதான் அந்த ஆர்டிக்கல் இந்தியா லீகலில் இருக்குது. ஓகே, கமிங் பேக் டு த டிபேட். இதை தான் அவர் சொல்கிறார், வி ஹவ் ஆல்ரெடி சேலஞ்சுடு அப்படின்னு. ஆனால் கோர்ட்டு சிம்பிளாக சொல்லிடுச்சு, எக்ஸ்பர்ட்ஸோட கிரைட்டீரியா கிளாசிக்கல் லாங்குவேஜ்னு வச்சு அது அவங்க கிரைட்டீரியா மீட் பண்ணி பிலீவ் பண்ணணும்னா நம்மளால எதுவும் பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு சிம்பிளாக கை வச்சிச்சு.
Ultimately, it was fought in the today Kannada in a court of law, saying that just because they got the classical language status, that Karnataka shouldn't be given because Karnataka did not. Kannada should not be given because Kannada was not eligible to be called a classical language. But ultimately, it was fought in the today Kannada also has been given the status of a classical language. But here, the most important thing is that it could have been a slip of the tongue, or it could have been like you're joking, or you're saying. But particularly, he says something like, "Your language is born out of Tamil." When he talks about your language to Mr. Shivaraj Kumar, he basically talks about Kannada, and it's implied. And even if he says that I didn't mean it, this is what I meant, and this is what I wanted to say, and this is how it should have been understood. But let me tell you, Mr. Kamal Hassan, when something like this happens, the best way to actually traverse this is to say sorry, because there are so many people who love you and they've been hurt because they did not want to hear something like that from you, because you're not somebody who is there to denigrate another language just to uphold the love for your own language. Here, because like you wanted to show your prowess, or like your control, or your hold on your language and the way you speak, and perhaps the way you love your language, you have to put down basically, because even if you did not mean it, when it is implied, I think the best you should have done is to just say sorry. Why is it so difficult for people to say sorry when so many people have felt bad? Because Kannadigas have been fighting.
தலைவல டென்ஷன் வர
Perhaps the way you love your language, you have to put down basically, because even if you did not mean it, when it is implied, I think the best you should have done is to just say sorry. Why is it so difficult for people to say sorry when so many people have felt bad? Because Kannadigas have been fighting every day to tell the world that Kannada is not some sort of a second hand, or substandard, or what do you say, second rung language. So this is the only demand. Let him say it. Otherwise, let him just say that I don't care about Kannadigas. I don't want to show my movies, and Kannadigas need not love me at all. And I think there the matter would be settled.
Dr. Sumant Raman, what sense does it make for Kamal Hassan to have made these remarks? It's all very well to make them, but if there's been a public outcry, if people aren't happy with the remarks, how would it have hurt him to not have changed his remarks? I mean, why didn't he change his remarks?
I think basically Kamal Hassan was factually incorrect, and it would have been the easiest thing for him to apologize and bring the matter to a close. Having said that, I don't think it is justified to say that to threaten that a film cannot be released because of a remark that Kamal Hassan has made. Look, everybody who saw the context knows that there was no malice or any ill intention in the remark. He was talking about his friendship, and he said that he and so Rajkumar's family are like the same family, and he was praising Shivraj Kumar there, and he was talking glowingly about everything else. So you just take one sentence in the whole thing out of context, and then go on to make it a huge issue. Look, my point is clear. Should Kamal Hassan apologize? My personal opinion is yes. But having said that, if he does not apologize, to say that his movie will not be released and to issue a threat like that is again completely unacceptable. Look, anybody in Karnataka who disagrees with Kamal Hassan's statement, who strongly feels about it, is free to boycott the film. They don't need to go to the theaters or to watch the film. And that would be a very, very powerful message to send to Mr. Kamal Hassan, because he is also the producer of the film, so it will actually hit him in his pocket. Instead of this, you say, and the state government's approach is very unfortunate. The state government's duty is to provide law and order and prevent, the issues like these from blowing up. Instead, you have them joining hands with people saying, no, we have to consider and supporting the people who are trying to stop the film from being released.
Sure.
And as far as the statements of the High Court are concerned, these are observations made in the court. We'll have to wait to see what actually figures in their order. Are they going to actually issue an order which bans the release of a film? Because that would be extremely strange if they did that, because this is a movie that has been certified by the censor board, and the matter should end there. And mind you, this is not just about Kamal Hassan. What about Mr. Mani Ratnam, who's the director of the film? What about the hundreds of actors and other artists who have participated in the film? The production team. You can't cause all of them damage just because you don't like somebody's statement. You don't like Mr. Kamal Hassan's statement, take him to court. Absolutely. You have every right to take Mr. Kamal Hassan to court, say that his statement has hurt you and he should not have said it. He should apologize. All that is fine.
But don't ban the film is what you're saying, right?
On what grounds is the movie being banned?
All right. Okay. Let me just get a final question into Kapil Sankla. Does the matter in your, unless of course there's another legal challenge, does the matter in your mind rest over here? The High Court in Karnataka said, look, please apologize, just end this, be responsible, don't play with your ego, or don't play to your ego, and he's refused. So the court, bound by the constitution, cannot force him to say something. They're bound to defend his freedom of speech, and yet they can disapprove of what he said and point out his responsibilities. That's legally as far as this is likely to go, right?
You're absolutely right. But the state also has a right to ban a movie if it thinks that it is going to create a law and order situation.
Right.
So therefore, as far as what the courts are going to say is one thing, but the right of the state can also not be taken away. I think all the panelists together are voicing that it would have ended the matter should he have apologized and, taken a higher road here, because with greater responsibility, with greater reach comes greater responsibility and greater restraint. I hope that he can end the matter like this. Otherwise, the matter will go on. It will be in the court of the state government then.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for being with us.
Nice.
It would be a big disappointment for fans of Kamal Hassan not to be able to see this film in Karnataka, but he's pretty clear. It appears at this stage that he's done nothing wrong. We leave it.
Comment section, comment section. Immediate Kamal Hassan iconic actor. He never read the Kannada language. He spoke with live. Many Kannada actors adore him. Most people, media don't have a brain to understand him. A dirty old man once called a child of upper caste as a son out of love. The upper caste made it political and attacked him. A man saying, "How can you, low life, call our sons as your son?" and killed him. What the F? This is exactly what this right wing and BJP in Karnataka are doing. Why didn't the BJP at Europe and Karnataka BJP not protest when Amit Shah said all the language came from Sanskrit? Where was Karnataka pride of this the BJP members? So Karnataka BJP accepted Kannada came from Sanskrit like Amit Shah says. Mere politics created out of nothing. Ask Amit Shah to say sorry first. I am not Tamil, but being literate and educated to research on my own, Tamil is the oldest living language. Oldest language in India, according to many linguist historians. It has widespread over East Japan and West Madagascar, where tribes still speak Tamil words. Tamil people genes are described as ASN gene in Madurai. And the INH started in Tamil Nadu years before the rest of the world. And I can list many more. Please keep positive approach and accept the fact which is present all over the internet. I know people won't accept even if they know what is factual and know all over the world because of this sentiment, and I respect that. Please be ignorant the rest of your lives following this dumb politician media that supports and does confirmation bias. 48 48 replies. Kamal Hassan should not have been asked to apologize. He did not say anything against Kannada language or Karnataka. In fact, he emphasized unity, saying we are all the same. He has always expressed love and respect for the people of Karnataka and their culture. The issue is being unnecessarily politicized. Kamal Hassan would have asked sorry if you guys would have proved him that he is wrong rather than hitting his picture with slippers, threatening him. Then who will ask sorry? You guys are talking about the sentiment. He is a public figure. So will you do these things to a public figure? Hurting ego is more painful than hurting the sentiment. He is such a big star and everyone says we love him. Who will hit in slipper if you love someone? He would have asked sorry, but people's worst reaction made him to be more thug. Kamal Hassan doesn't need to apologize. Every intellectuals know this truth. He did not say anything sorry, so no need to say sorry. Right. So okay guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed all this news reacts. இன்னொரு வீடியோவில் உங்களை சந்திக்கிறேன். நான் பட்டன் உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருங்க லைக் பண்ணுங்கள், கமெண்ட் செக்ஷனில் தெரியப்படுத்துங்க உங்களுக்கு எவ்வளோ பிடிச்சிருக்கும், உங்கள் ஒப்பீனியன் நீங்கள் இருக்கு சொல்லுங்கள். And if you want to support me, hit the subscribe button. That's the only you can support any other community like me. இன்னும் நல்ல வீடியோவில் உங்களை சந்திக்கிறேன். Take care. Bye. See you all. Peace out.